So I'm sure you guys know when you do something and you expect a specific outcome because of what you did. Like, for example, let's say you made a community post on YouTube saying, hey, the next episode of Back to Basics is going to be out on Sunday. And you expect yourself to actually upload it on that Sunday. God, dude, that is the most unrelatable story ever. I'm sorry, I'll pick a better one. So you know when your friends cyberbully you for a long period of time and they cover your house in sand multiple times until you finally snap and then cover theirs with obsidian? Yeah, you would expect that situation to make it to where they don't mess with you anymore. They should think, hey, I don't want to mess with him anymore because he'll hit me back way harder. Yeah, that one sounds pretty relatable, doesn't it, Nolan? But sometimes things don't go according to plan, and you end up actually creating an entire war between everyone on your server, which results in something you love being destroyed. Yeah, this one is a bit more relatable, you know? I can associate with this one, and you guys will be able to also in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Minecraft 1.0 experience, the series where we go back to basics in Minecraft 1.0 and play the game like it was when it came out in 2011. No adventure mode, no flying mode, no Hunger Games mode, no whatever mode. There's a lot of modes these days, but in 1.0, there aren't any. There's just good old-fashioned survival. Oh, and creative, and hardcore, but you know what I mean. So, let's get into this video. So at the end of the last episode, as you guys saw, my house was filled up with dirt once again. So, I did the responsible thing, and I cleaned it all up, once again. But you know what? I think one of you guys snitched on me, and I don't really know what I think about that. You know, I don't really appreciate it. I did a great job at blurring my secret chest location in the last episode, and somehow, somebody found it. Now, I don't know how, you know, because like I said, I blurred it, but I think one of you guys joined the server and used X-ray and found it and told everybody. I can't believe you guys. You know, I thought I could trust you. But to be fair, I do trust you guys more than I trust Nolan, especially what happens at the end of this episode. Anywho, yeah, so I figured it was time to go ahead and improve my island a little bit. I had the materials, my house was looking clean, and you know what? The island was kind of lacking in a few different areas. Mainly in the farming area. So I spent a decent amount of time growing my wheat farm once again, and also starting my own sugarcane farm. I figured I needed one of these because I would have to enchant sometime soon, so I might as well get it out of the way. But doing this did take a little bit of time, and there wasn't really much I could do to speed it up, so I figured, hey, you know what, I'll improve the physical aspect of my island as well. But there's no point in having sugarcane without cows, because obviously, you can't even make books unless you have leather. So I decided that I would also build a cow farm in the process. Alright, now where can I find some cows? Alright, let me go into this swampland for a little bit. I'm sure I could find some somewhere around here. Chicken, 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 chicken. Sheep, more chickens, more sheep, more chickens, more spiders. Freaking Herobrine. Yeah, okay, I could find everything but cows. There has to be somewhere where I can find some cows. I don't understand where they're at, bro. There's like none around here. I know where I can find some cows. So I walked over to Jared's island and I figured, you know what, I don't think he would notice if I stole a few of his cows. Like, he has a bunch of them. There's no way he'd even know. So I told Noah to distract him, and honestly, it worked. Or at least for a little bit. When he was distracted, I walked over to his cow farm and decided, hey, I'm gonna be a nice guy and I'm just gonna steal all of his cows. I mean, I doubt they want to be in this really nice, fully enclosed, well-crafted structure. I'm sure they'd much rather be in a fence. But there was no way to bring them back without him noticing. Unless it's time to go on a mining trip with some cows. Wait, what's that, Noah? Oh, you're telling me he's not distracted anymore? Nothing to see here, Jared. Nothing at all. Just go back up to the surface and pretend you didn't see anything. Alright, good job. Just keep going that way and don't come back. And now for the most frustrating experience of my life. I had to somehow drag these cows over to my mine from his. And first of all, I didn't even know how they connected. But second of all, cows are really annoying. You know, not to stereotype, but like, these things are stupid, you know? Honestly, bro. They would get stuck in walls, stuck in more walls, stuck in openness. They would glitch me out and I couldn't walk past them. But I tried, and eventually, I got about 10 blocks away. And then I murdered all of them because they were very irritating. It's okay, Jared. I'll buy you some new ones, man. I have a lot of diamonds. I'll repay you somehow. Well, that was what I call counterproductive. Time to find some actual cows now. Nothing like being a good citizen and freeing Jared's cows just where you can kill all of them and then find different ones anyways. My quest continued. I searched far and wide, tamed a dog, and eventually found a bunch of cows. Now these ones I could handle. Or so I thought. For some reason, they were still extremely hard to get back. They didn't want to follow half the time, and when they did follow, they would get stuck on everything. I honestly just think it's a 1.0 thing. I think they were very glitchy back then and, they weren't fully optimized. I mean, I pretty much attracted the entire forest full of animals at one point, so I had to have been doing something right. After much hard work, I eventually got them back to my land and put them in their new cozy fenced home. I would go back and forth breeding them, but while I waited, I actually ended up fixing up a couple other things on the island. For example, I made the mineshaft look better. I also added a nice little walkway going over towards the other side of the island because it was a little bit sparse and empty and, it could use some improvements. Alright, all the cows have had babies, it's now time to murder their parents in front of them like a responsible human. Hashtag sustainability, hashtag living off the land, hashtag digital nomad. I'm sorry, that was very cringy. But the good thing was, our sugarcane farm was pretty much done, and we had some leather, so now we could work on our enchanting room. Hey, Nolan, how do I make books? Wait, what? So you're telling me I had Noah distract Jared, I brought all of his cows into a deep, dark mine shaft, murdered all of them, ventured all the way to like a different country to find some more animals, swam all the way across the ocean to bring them back, and trapped them in a fence for like hours to not even need them? God, I sound as wasteful as the average American. It's okay though, there was one sole survivor who is going to be living in the mineshaft for the rest of his life. Maybe he'll help me find some diamonds or something. I mean, he still got freedom, so he should at least repay me. So eventually I made books that for some reason didn't even require leather and got myself a nice little enchanting room down. And now I quote Nolan's exact words, as I'm like 3 hours into this process.
Oh bro, I have an enchanting table in my base.
Oh, thanks Nolan, that's really helpful now that I've spent my entire life doing this. But it didn't matter, mine still looked pretty cool and I was happy with it. But I really didn't have enough experience to do anything, so I sat at the broken mob spawner for a little bit and tried to get some more experience. Once I got to level 21, I got kind of impatient, and I just figured, hey, you know what, I'm just going to enchant like a level 20 or something, like 30 is way too much work. Because if I recall correctly, in this old version of Minecraft, level 30 enchants like weren't really a thing. Like there was no like max level that you had to reach to get good enchants. I'm pretty sure just like the higher the level the better, but it didn't stop at 30. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like I'm pretty sure. Alright, I've been grinding for hours, let's see what we're gonna get, baby. Unbreaking 3. I mean, I've seen better, but I've also seen worse. Eventually I also made a full set of diamond armor because I was kind of rolling in materials and there was no reason not to. Plus I got to look good and flex on everyone at the same time, so, why the heck not? So I had a full set of diamond armor and a fairly decently enchanted pickaxe. I was looking pretty good. I finished my enchantment table, I fixed up my mine shaft, I had a nice little farm going. What could possibly go wrong? Then I heard Nolan mentioning my house again, and I said, hey Nolan, if you put any more dirt or sand in my house, I'm actually going to get a bit triggered because it's not funny anymore, man. And as Nolan said himself, don't worry, I will do much worse. And I thought, that's so funny. You're so funny, man. You're cracking me up. That's a real knee slapper. But don't. And he said, don't worry, I will. And I said, you just said that. And he said, yeah. And I said, Nolan, you better be joking, man. Seriously, don't. And that is when this happened. Yeah, that was my exact reaction. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. I wasn't expecting this at all. Like, maybe like, oh, I placed a creeper in your house. Haha, funny. No, it was like, I destroyed everything you've learned to love. That's all I had, man. That was all I owned. I mean, I had a cool enchantment table now, but like, bro, this man literally blew up my entire house. All right, so here's the line of morals, okay? Like, on this side is Jesus, and on this side is Satan. Nolan, as of right now, you're about here. So I read the Bible in elementary school, and I know for a fact the first commandment is, thou shalt never blow up their friend's Minecraft house with TNT. And then second is, thou shalt not kill. So like, that's the range, my friend, and you broke the first law. And I was even more blown away at the fact that I had an entire double chest completely full of resources, or almost completely full. It was full of iron, gold, redstone, like literally all my stuff was in this one chest. And this was back before the days of TNT not destroying everything. If your TNT hit your stuff, I'm sorry, that stuff is probably gone. I lost pretty much everything I had and my entire house. Yeah, I wasn't happy. But I didn't show it. I didn't act mad, because if I acted mad, I would give away my next set of plans. So I calmly walked over to Nolan's house, pulled his very secret lever that I could barely find because it was so hidden, walked into his secret room, and took everything he owned. I then followed my secret mineshaft that connected back to my house, came up on the surface, and made myself a secret bunker base in a mountain. It was such a beautiful place to store all of the items that I stole. And let me tell you, Nolan was not very happy about this. His words were, "Bro, I didn't destroy your items, the TNT did. So you shouldn't take mine, because I, personally, did not take yours. It's not my fault the TNT that I placed and lit on fire exploded and destroyed all of your items." Nah, fam, these are mine now, and I'll probably give them back after this episode, but as of right now, you're not getting them for at least 10 minutes. You're on probation. Eventually, as I said, I did give him his 6 diamonds back, but I kept the rest because at the very least, I deserve these things. But you know what? I would use this as a learning experience. My house was kind of garbage anyways, and I know I could build a better one. So I went to work building a new house, and this time I decided to go with the tiny house route, and I downsized a little bit. Because think about it, if you have a smaller house, that's less for people to destroy. And I honestly kind of like the look of this house, you know, it's simple, it's straight and to the point, it has the same front porch from before, and it does the job without being too big or fancy. Overall, I think this experience actually improved the look of my island, and I'm happy with it. Just kidding, I'm not very happy, Nolan, but I will forgive you. But I'm also keeping all of your materials. At this point, pretty much everybody got off except me and Chris assembled a dog army and murdered every mob in sight. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say this man had a literal dog army. It was like a pack of wolves. I mean, it technically was a pack of wolves, but you see what I'm saying. But I needed a little bit of time to rekindle, so after this, I kind of calmed down and got off and relaxed on my Peloton bike in my Zen garden. Okay, seriously, Peloton, look at your marketing, bro. You literally market your exercise bike for, like, millionaires only. Sorry, I got off topic. But back on the Minecraft topic, I have some very exciting news. Over the last couple weeks, I've been working very hard on a project known as KastCraft. KastCraft is my new Minecraft server, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The whole concept behind this server is the classic Minecraft feeling, but combined with the luxuries of modern Minecraft and modern Minecraft plugins. The idea behind this server started when I was looking for one to play on with some friends. Every server I found felt like a company. There were 10 or 15 different game modes, 30,000 players, all these crazy plugins and custom pay-to-win nonsense. The server isn't quite out yet, but I do have a Discord for it if you guys are interested in joining and staying up to date. Feel free to join, I will put a link in the description below, and trust me, it'll be worth your time. Because time is scarce these days, especially when you have to stop a war between everybody on your 1.0 world. But I guess you'll see what I'm talking about with that in the next episode.